I'm Greg Ferguson with the Edmonds Marsh Estuary Advocates, and I'm here with Rhea Smith with Washington Department of Ecology Environmental Assessments Program. She is in Edmonds to set up a 6 PPDQ monitoring system. With encouragement from Dave Willett, Edmonds Woodway High School biology teacher and student saving salmon faculty advisor, this is being set up in Shell Creek. Shell Creek is one of 4 potential salmon-bearing streams in Edmonds, and it's the only one that actually has salmon, although half the stream is blocked from salmon access by a dam on private property. The other 3 streams have man-made blockages at their mouth. Okay, we have some questions for Rhea.
Great.
This is not a test. This is just, we want to know this stuff, okay? What is the chemical 6-PPDQ?
Yeah, so there's a chemical that's put in all tires called 6-PPD, and it makes it so that tires last longer and they're safer for people to drive on. And it reacts with ozone, and then when it reacts with ozone, it creates a chemical called 6-PPD quinone. And that 6-PPD quinone and the tire wear particles while we drive get deposited on the roadsides.
So why do we care that it gets deposited on the roadsides?
Yeah, so there's a lot of effort by a lot of great scientists over the last couple decades trying to figure out what was causing mass pre-spawn mortality of coho adults. And it took a long time for several agencies and universities to figure out what the contaminant was, what the source was. And they finally discovered 6-PPD quinone, and that was by UW Tacoma Center for Urban Waters. And then ecology and the Washington state legislation took action to create a monitoring program for 6-PPD quinone because we wanted to see where it was impacting coho salmon in particular, but we also wanted to understand what other species were impacted. And we know it's one of the most toxic chemicals that we know of to aquatic life. So we want to know where it is.
Is there any way to take this chemical out of streams?
Yeah, it's just really mimicking natural biofiltration. There's several studies that have looked at rain gardens and bioswales. There's also commercially available high volume systems that filter out the contaminant, but we're still have a lot of research going to validate the effectiveness of a lot of those devices and installments. This is the DGT passive sampler, and we put it in a screen to protect the little passive samplers. And then we have a brick in here to weigh it down because some of these little creeks could be pretty flashy, and so we don't want it to get washed downstream and get lost.
So we've just installed a sampling system here. And when do you think we will be able to see results from the sampling?
Yeah, it usually, so these stay out for 6 weeks, and then it usually takes a couple months to get data back, and then another month or 2 to upload it to a publicly available database.
Well, that's great, Rhea, and I don't know why you answer your questions without reading a script better than I do when I'm reading a script, so really well done. Okay, thank you very much.